Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
That's kind of ridiculous. Theft is theft. It shouldn't matter whether it's $50 or, $50,000. Theft is theft. It shouldn't make any difference at all.
Some people in Fargo are scratching their heads after the city prosecutor told us yesterday that video evidence isn't enough to prosecute criminals and that the city was backing off on thefts at homes and businesses amounting to less than $500.
Valley News Team's Joshua Peguero follows up and spoke to recent victims of porch pirates who were caught in the act on camera.
Brian Hendricks caught porch pirates stealing a package from his Briarwood home in South Fargo.
We catch somebody on video trying to steal something, and we couldn't do that before.
Hendricks says he bought the surveillance system as a way to scare thieves. Yet, he says a comment from the Fargo city attorney has him confused.
I think it does send a wrong message overall.
The wrong message is Fargo city attorney Eric Johnson's statement that video evidence isn't enough to successfully prosecute a criminal.
Probably 9 times out of 10, it isn't. I mean, it isn't just enough in and of itself.
Fargo police and Johnson's office announced changes to delayed calls incidents, which impacts retail stores and also carries over to home thefts, according to Johnson. As he explained, if someone is caught on video shoplifting or taking something from a home, and if you don't notice it for a few days, and it's also under $500 and doesn't present a public danger, police have the discretion on whether to respond. Johnson explained that video isn't reliable for identifying a thief.
It's often, very important to have the opportunity to know that the suspect was confronted. Not a requirement at all times, but it's certainly one of many factors you consider in making a charging decision.
It's pretty definite. There's a black car. And the guy actually had a tattoo on his arm, and you could see very definitely when he turned, and you could freeze it, and you could see, it was some definite markings. So you'd think that would be enough to prosecute somebody if they could catch him.
Hendricks adds that Fargo commissioners should look into the policy change. In Fargo, Joshua Peguero, Valley News Live.
The city attorney added that he doesn't believe this policy change will lead to more thefts. His office has already adopted the change, and police plan to do so next Wednesday.
Grand Forks authorities are asking for your help finding this man, Gerald Knorr. He was arrested for felony terrorizing and posted bond, but skipped his court date. If you have any information, call the Grand Forks County Sheriff at 780-8280.
School will be starting soon, and drivers will have to pay extra attention to avoid hitting kids getting on and off the bus. A half dozen schools in North Dakota have already adopted what's called Safety Patrol Program by AAA. Patrollers are usually fifth graders who are stationed at crosswalks or on buses helping peers safely get off the bus.
So you're looking for anything that may be unsafe for the students on that bus. Sometimes it might be just stopping a student before they jump off the bus because you see a car coming along the side of the bus, something like that.
Out of 33,000 schools participating, North Dakota only has 8. 6 in Grand Forks. The others are in Lisbon and Belfield. Fargo Public Schools was approached by AAA in 2015. They did not adopt the project.
The protests have long since stopped, but the court battle continues over the Dakota Access Pipeline. The Standing Rock Sioux Tribe is asking a federal judge to remove an Army Corps of Engineers easement, which allowed Energy Transfer Partners to build the pipeline. If the court grants the motion, it would shut down pipeline operations until the Corps conducts an environmental review.
North Dakota has a new North Dakota Department of Transportation director. Former Wyoming DOT Director William T. Panos will lead the department beginning October 21st. He said that he looks forward to improving the state's infrastructure, the use of innovative technology, and using enhanced transportation systems to improve the economy.
Longer lines may be coming to the main terminal at Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. Starting Monday, travelers who have not qualified for TSA pre-check or clear pre-check will be limited to using the North Security Checkpoint. The South Checkpoint will be reserved for passengers who have pre-check and airport employees. Those are the main terminal's only checkpoints. The security change is due to remodeling, which is expected to be completed by December.
A New York medical examiner says Jeffrey Epstein killed himself in his cell. The autopsy report released today says Epstein suffered broken bones in his neck caused by hanging. He was a friend of the rich and powerful despite being a convicted sex offender and awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges. Chris Pallone has the latest.
The New York Medical Examiner says financier Jeffrey Epstein's death was a suicide by hanging, according to 2 senior law enforcement officials. The autopsy report released late Friday afternoon comes 6 days after guards found the 66-year-old dead in his jail cell at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan. The report says Epstein suffered broken bones in his neck after tying a bedsheet to a bedpost and hanging himself. Epstein, already a convicted sex offender, was awaiting trial on federal sex trafficking charges. He was arrested July 6th. Sources told NBC News officers were supposed to check on Epstein every half hour, but didn't the night he died, and it's possible he was alone for about 3 hours. Investigators say it's possible staffers were asleep at the time. The Justice Department is investigating how this could have happened. Epstein was not on suicide watch despite a July 22nd incident where guards discovered him injured and nearly unconscious. At the time of his death, Epstein was charged with sex trafficking and conspiracy. While no one else has been criminally charged in that case, police say that conspiracy investigation is still active.
I'm not going to get into specifics of how many victims, when they contacted us or where. But that team conducted a pretty thorough investigation that is not over.
Sources familiar with the case say Epstein's body was claimed by an associate earlier this week. Chris Pallone, NBC News.
Epstein was found dead in his jail cell on August 10th.
Actor Peter Fonda, the son of a Hollywood legend who became a movie star in his own right, both writing and starring in counterculture classics like Easy Rider, has died. His family says in a statement that Fonda died this morning at his home in Los Angeles. He was 79. The official cause of death was respiratory failure due to lung cancer.
There's concern in the community tonight over a new dieting app aimed at kids. Critics say if it's not used properly, it could lead to lifelong problems with food and body images.
Valley News Team's Courtney Lockie explains how the app works and why it's catching so much flack.
Weight Watchers introduced the new dieting app called Kurbo. It's a healthy eating program that's targeting kids ages 8 to 17.
I think that for children, it's completely unnecessary. Kids are growing and they really need all the amount of energy and nutrition that they can get, healthy nutrition that they can get. So dieting apps for an 8-year-old, even young teenagers is probably a bit much.
12-year-olds Alexis and Annika are from Fargo, and they say there's a lot of body shaming and that an app like this can lead to trouble.
We're just kids, we shouldn't have to worry about our weight or be ashamed of our body.
It's not all bad. 14-year-old Abigail from Jamestown says she sees benefits.
I think that everybody needs to be healthy, and there's a lot of kids going over obese to that stuff. So I think it would be fine.
The app uses a traffic light system. Kids can eat what they want, and later they categorize their choices. Green for healthy habits, things like fruits and vegetables. Red for things like candy and pop.
When it comes to kids, I think that more guidance is needed by a professional, just for the reason that those apps can be really easy to misinterpret.
Kurbo responded to the criticism of the app, saying it focuses on behavior change for healthier eating and more activity, not dieting or calorie counting. In Fargo, Courtney Lockie, Valley News Live.
The best thing that you or your teenager can do when it comes to diets, either online or otherwise, is check with an expert to find out the pros and the cons.
There's a new way to protect children with autism in need of an emergency, and it started right here. It's a free online program called Safety Jacket. When parents register their children's information online, it gives first responders the information they need to help the child with autism in a crisis situation. For example, their preferred methods of communication and routines. The program partners with local agencies like the Cass and Clay County Sheriff's Offices and Fargo, West Fargo, and Moorhead Police.
4 weeks after a storm tore through the Fergus Falls area, killing dozens of birds at a sanctuary at Adams Park, that sanctuary is bouncing back. At that time, local bird experts had to rescue some chicks because the traumatized adult birds had abandoned them in the nest. Now, thousands of minnows later, those well-fed and happy birds are ready to be released. The Rookery says that should happen next week.
The Como Park Zoo has announced the arrival of the first ever tuft puffin chick to hatch at the zoo. Parents Bug and Rocky welcomed the yet unnamed chick on July 31st. It was born weighing 57 grams and thanks to a steady diet of smelt and herring has already grown to 171 grams. The baby will be burrowing off exhibit for the next 5 to 6 weeks, just like it would in the wild. It will then be making its debut to the public.
Earlier this week, we warned people and dog owners about keeping away from blue-green algae. It had been spotted in the Jamestown area. Well, further to the west, we're told there's another warning. This time it's Harmon Lake in Morton County. That's near Mandan. People and pets should avoid contact with the water, and people should not take part in contact recreation activities such as swimming, water skiing, kayaking, and paddleboarding.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with No Wait Weather.
Well, in short, we had a great close to the work week, but we have a couple of hitches in the giddy-up coming on Saturday. There will be a chance for some severe storms where you see the deep green colors and particularly where you see the yellow colors down to the south. A reasonable chance at some volatile weather on our Saturday. The main risk in our area is going to be large hail and damaging straight line winds. I'll have much more on that momentarily. Right now, we are still enjoying 71 gorgeous degrees at Hector, 72 degrees if you're out at Moorhead's Airport. And the winds, they're from that south-southwesterly direction. That's warmed us up and it's kept us from cooling down too quickly. 73 in Devil's Lake, 66 this hour in Thief River Falls. And here's a look at the satellite and radar. Very quiet conditions here. A couple of rumbles of thunder just to the south of the Bismarck area heading into Sioux County now from Grant County. And we do see this leading edge of cloudiness and a few showers and thunderstorms up in southern Canada associated with a cold front. That guy's moving through our neck of the woods tomorrow, and that will cause a change in our weather pattern as we go through the weekend. Here is the very latest. This evening, as we head to bed, temperatures are going to fall, but nothing too quickly. Notice a slight chance of 1 or 2 thunder showers dancing their way along the South Dakota border as we go through the overnight. Most of us will be very quiet. And look at these start your day temperatures near 60 for everyone across the board. And that's thanks to the fact that we'll have wind blowing from the south or southwest through the overnight hours at 5 to 15 miles per hour. That effectively stirs the atmosphere and slows how fast we cool. First thing in the morning, notice this little band of clouds up here. That's associated with the cool front. As we go towards midday, our northern neighbors will see an increase in cloudiness, and that'll limit your heating up there in the Devil's Lake Basin. But down to the south and to the south and east, we will have stout south winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour and temperatures warming quite nicely. However, in the afternoon, as temperatures reach their peaks, we will see ahead of the cold front some thunderstorm development from northwest Minnesota all the way down into South Dakota. Now, again, the best chance for severe storms is going to be in South Dakota, but here in our neck of the woods and into Lakes Country, as we advance this from the late afternoon hours through the dinner hour, this is where we're going to have that best chance at seeing some hail and gusty straight line winds with these storms. Behind the cold front, you'll know when it moves through because your wind will become northwesterly and it'll be gusty for a while. By the time we get to around the 10 o'clock hour, most of us should be storm-free and on our way to a quiet night and Sunday. In Fargo, on Saturday, near 60 to start your day. We'll have increasing clouds mainly in the mid to late morning towards midday. In the afternoon between, say, 2 or 3 o'clock and 6 to 7 o'clock at night, that'll be our best chance of showers and storms in Fargo. Then they'll clear to the south and east. Wide-ranging temperatures near 80 south and east, upper 70s here in Fargo, and maybe some upper 50s in the 5 o'clock hour in the Devil's Lake Basin, with a decent chance for showers and storms. Brandy Anderson uploading this photo in Lidgerwood. Thanks for sharing that. Here's a look at your forecast. As we head into your Sunday, it looks sunny and delightful, 75. 80s return for back to school next week, and there's a potato on there for Friday.
I wonder what that means.
Barnesville.
Oh,
Potato
yeah,
days.
Barnesville. Yeah, potato days are here.
Yeah, thanks, Hutch. Later on Valley News Live at 10, a new law in North Dakota offers more access to services for people with brain injuries. Details up next.